Okay, horse chestnut. Massive horse chestnut. Big branch came down across the road on those wires there. And I called up Adam.
Hi.
To find out why that branch, which was healthy, you can see full of leaves, came down. And this here is why. If you explain. That shiny thing there.
Yeah, so it's like slight discoloration, which is not normal. It should be fully green. Now this is not leaf miner. This is what
A
the
leaf miner.
miner
Here's more
does.
of them here.
Yeah.
You can see.
But here is what we're looking at, and this would be a perfect example of drought stress, which has more than likely caused this failure, and we would refer to that as summer branch drop, SBD. And SBD typically happens after long periods of drought
And dry weather.
and dry weather.
Yeah. And we had a very, very dry spring.
Extremely dry spring. And also I'm noticing in other areas of the country that the water table has dropped immensely, and I think Susanna can confirm that.
Oh yeah, here the water tables dropped a lot.
So there's very little you can actually do to prevent this, because there's no signs of like decay on that stem. It's perfectly healthy, looks perfectly healthy, apart from obviously seeing this leaf.
Yeah.
But
and that's not the only leaf. There's a lot of leaves.
I
mean, it shows it on it. We should see, do you still have that leaf here? We can find a healthy leaf, or relatively healthy leaf, that doesn't have, I know they all have leaf stress and leaf miner.
Yeah.
But there was a leaf that I found there. Okay. That under part, that's what the healthy leaf looks like, not the miner part.
And you can see that the leaf miner is clear. It's clearly obvious here what the leaf miner is doing. But this leaf is relatively healthy. Now it might be...
Hold them together. There, you can see the difference.
It may be that this leaf was lower to the base of the tree, where the roots are more effective of getting water to the leaf.
Moisture to
the leaf. Then the higher up in the crown, then
there'll be a lot more silvering.
Yeah, a lot more silvering. It's harder for the tree to get the water to that height, especially in times of stress.
And especially when they're such big trees.
Yeah, and more than, I'd say 70% of the time, the branches that are failing are higher up in the crown.
Yeah, that was pretty high up.
That one's pretty high up.
Yeah.
Quite common with horse-chestnut, sycamore, and beech.
I hope my beech are gonna be okay. I have loads of beech.
Yeah, but I don't. They're not as heavy, not as heavily endoweighted as the horse chestnut.
Yeah, they're very heavy weighted branches, and they're gnarly too.
Yeah, they are.
Very gnarly.
But there's very little you can do unless you want to carry out a full crown reduction, and in times of stress,
you're only making it more stressful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's best to leave it and hope that we have enough rain in the summer.
Yeah, exactly.
That might do something.
Yeah. In Europe and Germany, heavier limbs like this are sometimes cabled or braced, especially in high traffic areas, but that's not always feasible for the likes of yourself.
No, because that's a financial burden.
Far too costly.
Yeah.
I know some people might say, yeah, look, the limb did fail, but like actually targeting that limb and realizing it was a problem in the first case,
we wouldn't have known. Anyway, it was so high up. I mean, it's way up there that it was attached and going out like this. So there's no way I could have braced it known about it.
No.
Because these are big trees.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you turn around and you stand there, you can see it is a ginormous tree. Look at that. Yeah, so I mean, it's a huge tree. It's a massive tree. So there's no way that can I couldn't have braced it anyway.
No.
But you were also saying another cool thing. Now my video might die any minute because my battery's low. But about ash trees.
Oh yes. So currently, ash are showing strong signs of resilience, and the Teagasc have a team who are currently looking for ash trees based on 4 different classes: class 1, 2, 3 and 4, but class 1 and 2 in particular. Class 1 is I think 80 to 100%. Don't quote me on this, but it can be.
I am quoting you. I'm videoing you.
It's going to give someone a reference point, and they can search it for themselves on the Teagasc website.
Yeah.
But they are looking for trees with like 80 to 100% crown. So basically,
there's no dead stalk sticking up.
Class 2.
Kind of like that tree there.
Yeah.
That would be
a perfect example of class 1.
That would be a class 1 because there's nothing dead. No evidence of anything dead on it at all.
Yeah. And then class 2, less crown with dead stalks. And then 3 and 4 are really like, you can see like
you can see that it's dying down.
It's back to timber like this size.
Okay.
All the growth is on the inner side of the crown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have a class 2. No, wait, that's a class 1.
That's class 1.
So the next one down, I might have 1, so we can maybe look at that.
Yeah.
Birds all flying away. Okay, so these are class 2 because they have these dead branches that go back a bit. So that's what you would call class 2 dieback, ash dieback.
Yeah.
I mean, because they've got a healthy bit of growth on them.
Yeah.
And
but you can see it's denser towards the center of the tree.
Towards the middle.
Towards the middle, yeah.
Towards the heartwood.
Yeah.
And the branches, I mean, this branch here is a big branch. Let me zoom in. That's a big branch there that's died back all the way down to about there. And then this has some dead branches here on the left. So those would be classed as class 2. Mm-hmm. But we walked past some coming in.
Yeah.
And there was a whole ream of them that were class 1. But see, also the sheep are grazing under those. Yeah. The sheep have not been grazing under these.
Yes, that's
so
true.
All the ones that are class 1, I think the sheep have been grazing under.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference.
Very important to note, if you can take away the foliage, and it's been practiced in Europe since, I'm nearly sure, 2008, 2009. That they were always removing the leaf litter because the leaf litter is the breeding ground for Hominocyphus, which is the fungi that is ash dieback.
Right.
And they have been gathering up the leaves, especially around amenity trees, but they're sole trees on their own, and that has broken the cycle of the fungi and then has given the ash a better chance of survival.
That's fantastic news because it's interesting because my conversation with a botanist last year, the year before, I can't remember exactly, was she's walked a lot of farms in Ireland and she said the farms that had sheep, only sheep, they might have cattle and etc., but it's the fields that sheep grazed, the ash trees were really healthy. So the cattle, horses and goats don't eat the fallen ash leaves, it's only sheep. Which I thought a very interesting point is that the sheep seem to be helping ash trees. And it's obvious here because all the places we looked where the ash trees are looking healthy, the sheep have grazed. Whereas under these trees, they're here on the driveway and the sheep really haven't grazed here at all. I think the sheep have grazed here maybe once or twice. They've grazed here a bit and there a bit over the past 10 years, maybe once or twice.
And I mean, it's clear to see, it speaks for itself.
Oh, it does, because of the other ash trees in the field and in the woods where the sheep graze.
Comparison less than 200 meters apart.
Yeah. So it's what is it called? Citizen science.
Yeah, exactly.
Citizen science observation. As Adam was saying, a lot of the trees these days are very, very thirsty because the groundwater, we haven't had enough rain. We had such a dry spring. And I'll show you some horse chestnuts. Well, you've seen the horse chestnuts. I'll show you a sycamore and a beech tree that are thirsty as well. But I wanted to show you this. I found these little bird baths at TK Maxx for around 12 euros, and they're ceramic. And what I've done is I've put a few through the woodland so that they can drink. So birds and hedgehogs and people can drink. See, I'm watering in here at the moment. Everything's thirsty that I've planted this year. They haven't had time to establish their roots. Also, the dogs are drinking the water as well. But I have these bins that I'm refilling at the moment for when I walk past in the woodland. I can water those that I've planted. So that's what I'm at today, is watering trees, particularly after Adam's visit and realizing how thirsty everything is. Well, no, I've been watering anyway, but it kind of adds to the incentive to make sure that I'm still watering. But I've made all these, see, bees and insects can get out, and I'll show you some of the other ones that I have in other locations. For 12 euros, not bad. I mean, okay, the tails will chip and stuff, but that's okay. It's water. There's another Japanese maple that I planted, and it's water container close by. But I also have this little bird bath here. This is another one of the TK Maxx bird baths. It's sitting on a stump, so birds have access to it. And it's kind of, they can perch on the tree and see if anybody's coming. So my holly trees are down there, and there's bins there. But I found this location here for another bird bath right here, and it was completely dry when I just filled it just now. So they're definitely using it or drinking from it or having baths, but it's balanced up on this old ash log that's still alive. Look at that, still alive. Anyway, busy with water at the moment, or replenishing water at the moment. This silvering on the leaf this is a sycamore, and that is drought stress. And this is a sycamore down here. These are babies, and they are not drought stress. And you see this one is a little bit drought stress, but it's got my water pail next to it for watering things that I've planted in the woods. But you can see that's no drought stress. And this is loads of drought stress. So that's why that horse chestnut branch fell when it did. So that silvering isn't a disease. It's literally distress. The tree's screaming, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty, I'm thirsty. We haven't had enough rain, even in the woods. What's interesting here is this is an elm tree, and this elm tree is drought stressed. You can see the silvering on the leaves here. So this elm tree is drought stressed. Right next to it is this beech tree, and it's only beginning to get drought stressed. There's just mostly there, you can kind of see right in there that it's beginning to show evidence of drought stress. A lot of its leaves are doing very well. But you can see the difference between a elm leaf and a beech leaf. Let's see if I can get these closer together. There, you can see. And this poor elm tree is drought stressed. The beech is as well, but not quite as obvious. But there's the difference between the elm and the beech leaves. People are often asking, what's the difference between the two? But these two trees are right next to each other. So this is the beech tree, is that one there. And this is the elm tree, this one here. And their leaves are overlapping. This is the elm. Elm leaves are fuzzy. And beech leaves are glossy and smaller.